What is up, guys? Good morning, Crypto FUD. Let's jump right into this, guys. All right, so we have a very big morning ahead of us. It's going to be very eventful. We have the Fed, or not the Feds, but we have unemployment numbers dropping. Let's see here. It should be dropping very soon, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, unemployment numbers already dropped. That's right. I'm late here. What's going on, Rosales? Holy crap, I am late. Good morning, guys. Welcome. What's up, TJ? What's going on, guys? You know what? I don't even know what the hell happened this morning with the with unemployment numbers. Let's see here. There we there we go. All right, there we go. So I'm an hour actually late, guys. Sorry. So sorry. So, if you're finding out just like me, let's see here. Unemployment actually came down. This makes sense for everything. We're going to cover this stuff here. So, welcome, guys. Welcome. Bitcoin right now at 109,400. We did see a small little drop today. Obviously, you could see we had a nice little run up to about 110,300. What happened? Well, a couple things. Obviously, I'm living under a rock. I am like an hour behind, but you guys can see unemployment numbers actually dropped at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time this morning. For whatever reason, I'm like literally running an hour late. Unemployment numbers came out. They were expected to be actually above forecast, right? So they were forecast to be around 4.2%. Looks like previous was 4.2. It was forecast to be around 4.3. Looks like it came out actually lower than expected and previous at around 4.1. You would think that's great. Unemployment's dropping, right? You can see non-farm payrolls was previous 139, forecast to be 110. Looks like it came out hot at around 147. 140,000 jobs created. That seems great, right? Well, not necessarily if you are an investor and you're hoping that Jerome Powell is going to be reducing interest rates anytime soon. Coming over here, this makes sense. When I was opening this up, I was like, wow, this thing jumped up. Yesterday, we were at 80%. It has jumped up to 93% for July's, 95% for July's reduction or FOMC meeting. Sorry, guys. So 95% of the market now is pricing in that we're going to see basically a pause as of now. And it's pretty much when you start seeing numbers like this, it's pretty certain that we're most likely obviously not going to see any kind of a reduction in interest rates coming up in the next 27 days from now. Going over to September, it looks like it's starting to fluctuate as well, even though I'm still going to stay on the camp of I do think September we are going to see some kind of a reduction in interest rates. You can see it is starting to shift. We had 90%, basically 75 and 15% calling for some kind of either a big reduction in interest rates in September or some kind of a 25 basis point. You can see a lot of this shifted over to 22%. This was nothing over here yesterday. 22% are saying that we're going to see some kind of a pause. I'm sure these numbers are going to fluctuate as we get closer to these dates. This is obviously in September. So to be honest, that's exactly why we saw us before the numbers dropped. We were running up because we're forecast to see unemployment actually jump up, which is what we want to see for the Feds. They want to see a weak labor market. Obviously, we're getting from the numbers, I don't know how much I believe this, but we're getting from the numbers a stronger job reports. And the Feds, obviously, they're looking for that 4.4% target unemployment, and we're going the wrong direction. We're at 4.1 now. So you can see as far as for Bitcoin, looking at the 4 hour, like I said, we did run up, hit our head around 110,300. We have been rejected. We actually came all the way down to about 108.8. I'm sure this is when the numbers dropped. And as of now, we've kind of recaptured that 109. We're sitting around 109,300 right now. So, holy crap. I am literally an hour late. I feel like shit because I'm like, not like I feel like bad. I feel bad just because I meant to start the stream an hour ago, and I'm like literally at the gym, taking my time today, doing my thing, and yeah. Rosales said short. Bro, you know what? So I actually opened up a short when we ran up to 110,000. you could see I didn't catch the exact top, but we've run up before. This isn't our first rodeo of us running up. Look at this. This $110,000, 110,300. We've done this before. We've actually done it. This is the fourth time that we've run up and done this. And just the last, looks like in the last 4 to 5 weeks, we've done this where we've run up and got rejected. Basically, a little bit above this. These spikes were about 110,400, but you can see shorting at that area, historically speaking, in the last 4 or 5 weeks has been actually a good move, and I did it. I basically, as we ran up, I did take advantage. Mine was somewhere around 110K, but as of earlier, I actually closed the short when we dropped down to about 108.9 is where I caught the short for about a 60% gain. I did actually recently opened up another short. I'm starting off very small, but you can see I did actually open up another short somewhere around 109,300. I plan on actually continuing to add to this because my liquidation zone is somewhere around 110.7 right now. So I'm not really, I threw in very small capital right now with anticipation of just having a position open and adding to it if we do actually climb up, which I do anticipate for the most part. We're going to probably shrug this, what we have going on as far as unemployment. It'll probably be forgotten literally in the next few hours. Let's jump over to futures real quick and let's see what the S&P is bringing here. So the S&P futures are up like crazy right now, guys. You see this? Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, the S&P futures right now are not even worried about unemployment. They're not really worried about unemployment. I think they're more focused. Good morning, Gina. They're more focused on the trade deals that are potentially occurring in the back end right now with Vietnam and other countries. We have the deadline coming up on July the 9th for the 90-day pause. What we're anticipating is that most likely we're going to see a lot of deals come into fruition, most likely within this next week, just because of that deadline. And it's not just because you're thinking, all the other countries they're desperate. No, the United States is trying to get them to the table as well, because at the end of the day, we want to just get all this resolved, right, as soon as possible and move on, right? So the S&P right now, future is not looking bad. We'll actually, the market's about to open up. Let's switch over here. Let's see. Yep, market just opened up. Look at this. Look at that jump right there. Let's see what Bitcoin's about to do. I'm anticipating Bitcoin's probably going to jump up too. Let's see. I want it to move. Let's go. There we go. We're starting to get some movement. Markets just opened up. S&P is absolutely killing it, making all-time highs right now. You guys are literally witnessing S&P right now making all-time highs. Highest it's ever been in history was just now. 62.52 was the highest it's ever been in U.S. history. Isn't that crazy? You're living in history right now. We're not in history. You're making history right now. We'll let the market kind of do its thing. Let's do a couple things. I don't even have any news up right now. Let's see if there's anything going on as far as with news. Let's see here. Ethereum broke above 26, did it? Look at this. Bitcoin's running right now. Yeah, Ethereum is up above 26. Nice. Damn it. I was about to add to that position. Let's see if DeFi is doing anything right now. Solana's up. Is it running? I mean, S&P making new all-time highs again. 62.53 it just jumped up to. I will say Solana's not absolutely ripping yet, but she is trying to, bro. She's trying to. We have these two spots right here. Really, this spot. What is this going to be? The 153 area. 153.15 is a big spot for some resistance. I will say this is on the 30-day, right? You can see our moving averages on the 30-day moving average. It's trying to find some kind of support above this 50-day right now. So hopefully it does. Let me see here. Bitcoin's running right now. Bitcoin's running, and my short position is getting killed right now. I'm just kidding. I really don't care. I'll move some leverage around. What do you have? A long open for Solana? Nice. Bitcoin's running right now. Hell yeah. Let's get dramatic. Let's zoom in on Solana. Look at that. Nice little candle. Possibly a nice little double bottom for Solana. Right? You can see almost like a little W pattern that's kind of formed for Solana. So it looks good. Bitcoin came up to this resistance area. This 109,880 is going to be a big spot for some resistance. Look at this. You can see even when we broke down, we hit our head on this, and look where we're coming up right now. So we're retesting it again. It's probably going to break. I wouldn't be surprised if we need to come back up to retest this 110.3 area. Days like this, I like to just zoom in, get a little bit, get into that dramatic small time frames. We're on the 5-minute right now, and you can see this beautiful green candle broke. Look, we just broke it. Nice. Looks good. Let's switch over to the bubbles right now. Let's look at the hourly. Hourly is kind of down, right? Because I'm sure a lot of the alts are going to start reacting here soon now that Bitcoin's kind of rebouncing. For the daily, though, you can see looks actually fantastic on the day, right? You have like meme coins doing really well. WIF is up 15, Fartcoin's up 15, Bunk is up 16, Floki's up 8% right now. You have Sui up 10%, Pepe 9%, HBAR 8%. I mean, across the board right now, these look fantastic. Jasmy's finally coming back alive, up 6% right now. I mean, you can go down. ADA is up 7%. Shout out to Flip. Doge coming from the dead, 7%. Shiba, 4.5%. Ethereum Classic, 5%. Ethereum up 6%. That's a big move right there. Ethereum's up 6% right now. HBAR, 8%. I mean, look at this. There's really no red across the top 100s other than maybe KuCoin and whatever this is, this 4 project right here. But other than that, everything looks fantastic right now. Looks absolutely fantastic. So we did come up, and we look at this. We did hit our head at this 109.8 area right here. So I'm not really too worried. What I will say is as long as this S&P is running, right? Look at this. S&P keeps making new highs, right? It just keeps running right now. 62.56 is the high right now. So look at a couple things. We have gold down about 0.7%. The S&P is up about 0.5%. NASDAQ is up 0.6%. Dow Jones is up about 0.25%. The VIX is down. The dollar slightly up right now. But what I'm getting to is with the stock market doing really well, gold is down right now, right? That usually tends to show bullishness and risk on assets, right? So people tend to be either, if you're seeing gold in the green, gold doing really well, you're usually going to see the stock market the opposite, right? Because people are usually moving from the stock market, riskier assets over into gold. We're seeing the complete opposite right now as S&P is absolutely ripping right now. So I'm sure Bitcoin is probably going to continue. Bitcoin probably needs to come up and just keep retesting this area right here, and then eventually it'll break. Let's just get down into the 1 minute. Let's get down to the 1 minute. We're getting into the nitty gritty, and we'll keep an eye on this. While that's happening, looking at fear and greed index, you're starting to see greed is coming into the horizon right here. We're in neutral right now at about 54, but we're not getting far. We're getting close to that greed area, which means that confidence in the market is slowly boiling up. We need to get into greed. We need to get into that extreme greed. That's going to show us that retail is finally starting to come to the party. Right now, we have retail. They're so spooked. We do have some retail jumping in, right? But for the most part, retail has been kind of absent, while in big institutional money has been just absolutely just gobbling up Bitcoin particularly. And I'm sure they're starting to buy Ethereum. Remember, we talked about Ethereum. I showed you what Michael Lee said what was that, 3 or 4 days ago, in regards to him taking over a venture capital, and they're focused on buying Ethereum. Ethereum seems to be the next big thing as far as what I think institutional money is going to be piling in on. And then we have the ETFs getting approved for Solana, ADA, and XRP. So right now, Bitcoin just broke above 110K, looking great. Let's look. So we have Solana right now. Solana just ran up to about 154, not looking bad. XRP right now, not doing too bad. We're sitting around that $2.30 as of right now. Remember, let me zoom out on these charts right here because we're like all in. So with Solana, we're kind of sitting in this consolidation zone, right? I just zoomed out on the 4-minute. You can see it looks like it's finding some support around the 382 level. 382 is going to be around your $2.18 mark. It looks like it's been consolidating, finding that support as of now. Usually when you see stuff like that, it's usually curling up for a nice big move. Rosales just said Ethereum. Yeah, Ethereum's killing it right now, bro. Ethereum is absolutely ripping. Still in this consolidation zone, right? So, I mean, it's doing good. But we need to see we need to see a breakout, in my opinion, above 2860, right? 2860 is this zone that I've been watching where we like to consolidate. Hence, this box right here is our consolidation zone. Even though we broke below, this is an area which the top is 2860. The bottom of the consolidation zone is 2528, 2530 to make it easier. That's your range of highs to lows, and we've been kind of sitting in there for the most part. Yes, we've broken below, we've broken up even above briefly, right? But we always seem to keep finding ourselves right back into this consolidation zone, which is fine. You know, I'll take the pump right now, but I'm not going to trust it until we break above this 2860 and we start finding some support above the consolidation zone, or we start testing this 382 level around this $3,000 mark for Ethereum. So see, this is good. We broke above, right? Remember this, looking at the 1 minute, look at this. We were finding this as resistance, this 109,880, like I called, right? We came up, we hit our head, needed to basically retest this area 3 times. We broke above. Now look, now we're obviously on the 1 minute, right? So take this with consideration, but you can see we found some support once, twice. Hopefully we'll hold this as some support, and then we'll see the nice little bounce where we'll hopefully start breaking above that 110 again and finding 110 as some solid support. We do have that 110.3. That's going to be our spot that's going to give us probably some hell as we approach it. So we'll see how that plays out. Let's move over to Twitter. And let's see what's going on with Twitter. So look at this. Lark posting. Shout out to Lark. Just in, Bitcoin reclaims 110,000. Nice. I'm glad I closed that short earlier and repositioned myself. Let's see here. So Bitcoin and crypto market cap will probably go to a 15 to 20 trillion once the Genius Stable legislation passes, says Trump's digital asset director. You hear that? They're predicting a 15 to 20 trillion dollar market cap. This is for all of crypto. That's awesome. That would blow my predictions, because I was saying somewhere around anywhere from potentially 6 to 8 to maybe at the top 10 trillion for this cycle. But I mean, if we get 15 to 20, imagine how much money will, even if just a few trillion, right, just trickles over into the alts, you're going to see absolutely parabolic across the board, even if like $1, $2, $3 trillion just flows into alts. Because think about it right now, all of crypto, as we speak right now, is worth 3.3 trillion. So imagine if $3 trillion goes into strictly alts. We're not even talking about Bitcoin, right? But just into alts. Let's say 15 trillion is the top, right? You have 12 trillion in strictly into Bitcoin. You're talking about a 5x from where Bitcoin is right now, I believe, somewhere around there. And then you're talking about $3 trillion going into nothing but alts. You're talking about probably Ethereum getting close to $1 trillion. You're talking about Solana getting up to probably 500 billion. You know, stuff like that, you know, is what you'll see. And then obviously down the road on everything else, or most other things, massive movement if we were to see something like that occur. So we'll take it. This guy's back, James Wynn. Let me go back up here. I like this. Where is this? Right here. I like to go onto their page because they stay pretty up to date on a lot of shit. Bitcoin's at 110,100. Look at this. Looks good. Just looking to see if there's anything going on. Major breach in Brazil's banking system. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see how DeFi is doing right now. Tonight, just letting you guys know, we are going to be having our Trenches live stream tonight for our members. So if you guys are interested, we're going to be basically doing live trading, jumping into the trenches. We focus on DeFi plays, just jumping in and out of plays, trying to make those quick moves. We will be doing that tonight, this evening, probably somewhere around 6 to 7 Eastern Standard Time is what time we'll start. So make sure, if you are interested, hit that join button and make sure you guys are subscribed so you can get that alert. Kaboom went kaboom boom. That project's done. Nice little bounce right here. This is what I'm talking about. This is the shit that we do on the members only stream for the trenches. Nice little bounce right there. In and out. Nice little 40% gain right there. And we already had this line. Basically, that's the first thing that we do is we go in, we find support levels, and we just kind of the trick is to have patience, right? That's like the hard part. Finding these areas to buy, not the hard part. It's really just having patience and waiting for the price to execute and get to those areas, right? Sometimes they don't get to those areas, they just shoot off and we miss them. And then a lot of times they will, but you end up buying in too early, not trusting your TA, and then you buy in way too early, for whatever case is. So Bitcoin is running right now, guys. We're actually coming up to, let's see here. Let's see if we're going to break above. We're coming up to that area right now. See if we're going to break above. I told you those unemployment numbers, it like spooked the market slightly, and then it's just like, we move on. This was the unemployment number drop right here, right? Unemployment drop. We actually bounced at the bottom of this V, or the top of this VWAP right here. Nice little bounce, and then you can see. Is it going to hold 110? I was just checking something because YouTube's been trying the hell out of me. I can't even see who's here or what's going on. I'm like working blind here, guys. Working blind here. Look at that. Drop down to 109.9 and then boom. We just like, hopefully this 110 becomes the bottom, right? Hopefully this 110 becomes the bottom. We can kind of find some support. I mean, right now, guys, if you really think about it, there's just so much bullishness going on, right? Other than Jerome Powell and all that bullshit, which I'm telling you, that's going to get resolved here soon. But putting that to the side, everything with the trade deals, I think, is going to be going in our favor, right? And I think that we're going to start hearing as we get closer to the July 9th, we're going to start hearing that this country's, came to a deal. This country, we're going to start seeing these trade deals basically, like I said, going into fruition, and the markets are just going to continue to just rally off of this, right? So we will obviously have dips, here and there, and there's always going to be stupid shit that's going to pop up, and the markets are going to get briefly scared, but if we can just continue to kind of keep some footing, especially above like 108, 109, right, and we keep the dips minimum, I don't see why we won't be making all-time highs within the next few weeks, right? And I say that conservatively because we could make all-time highs tonight, right? I don't know if I want to see Bitcoin shoot up to 112 in a straight shot, because what do you think is going to happen if we just shoot up to 112? People are going to take profits and we're going to come right back down, right? But slowly but surely, I think in the next few weeks, as we get, just keep getting this bullish news coming in, I'm sure we're going to hear Micro Sailors buying more, BlackRocks. We've already been going over all the inflows for ETFs have been going absolutely bananas in the last few weeks. So, I mean, for the most part, everything is pointing towards the upside, right? Everything's pointing towards the upside. There's no reason other than maybe something that we don't foresee right now occurring. I think there's no reason why we aren't going to be making all-time highs. And then at some point, like I keep telling you guys, I still do believe that we're in this 4-year cycle. And I do believe that as Bitcoin continues to make highs, we have about 3 to 4 months, I think, where we're going to really see Bitcoin going crazy, and you're going to start seeing alts, I think, topping out, us getting into some kind of an altcoin season at some point, right? It's kind of questionable when you're hearing like Trump coming out and saying, oh, I think that the crypto space is going to be getting up to 15 trillion. You're like, well, when, right? Are you talking about in like a 10-year span, or are you talking about in the next few months? Like, Rosales said it shot Bitcoin. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. Damn. It broke above. Look at that. Bro, it didn't even acknowledge that area right there. It didn't even acknowledge it. Now, it'd be nice if we come back, maybe just retest it, find it as some good support. Let's see, because you see how we did the same thing over here, right? This 109.8, we had to retest. We had to keep testing it a few times. We broke above, but we got that confirmation of some support, and then boom, we shot up. We'll take that as some support right there. It didn't come all the way down to the 1013 or whatever, 313, but we'll take it as some support. I'll take it. All right. Remember, we're looking at the 1 minute, so these candles are a little dramatic, right? They're going to look like, Bitcoin's either, going crazy like up or down. It's because we're looking at the 1 minute right now. So I usually only do 1 minute charts, market open, especially when there's some kind of big macro news like we saw today with the unemployment that dropped. So everybody, Carl to the moon, Bitcoin reclaims 110. Let's smash that all-time high. Oh, look at this. Breaking news, Russian President Putin to hold telephone call with U.S. President Trump today. I wonder if that has something to do with the markets. What do you guys think? Peace in Ukraine? It's a possibility, right? It's a possibility. looking at this quote. It says, if you can remain delusionally bullish longer than the market can remain bearish, you win. As simple as that. What is it? Let's see here. It says, if you can remain delusionally bullish longer than the market can remain bearish, you'll win. Okay, I get it, right? So if you can just stay bullish even through the bear times, right, you'll win, right? Because we're always going to flip back to being bullish. Just like, I guess the same thing can be on the same thing, right? On the flip side, if you stay bearish longer than the market can stay bullish, you'll win, right? I guess it basically comes down, if you have patience on whatever you believe in, you'll most likely win at some point, right? It's kind of like that broken clock analogy. A broken clock is right twice a day, right? So, I mean, even if you stay bearish, you know, there's going to be times where you're right, you know? And same thing, I think, as of late, it's been rough to be a bear, but, you know, that's their problem. We're hovering around that 110.3 area, so... Good old X. So it looks to me, even though we've seen candle wicks below the area, it looks like we have found on the 1 minute now. Remember, this is a very short time frame, but it looks to me like we have found some good support above that 110,300 area. So it looks good for now. Hopefully we see a solid day today. I think, you know, we have a lot of things, like I said, bullish, especially with this news, potentially with Trump talking to Putin. Maybe we're going to see peace, you know, as far as with that going on. That would be nothing but a plus for the markets as well. Gina said, I'm looking for a project for the trenches stream. Yeah, but you know what, Gina? Just hold. I mean, keep an eye out on everything, but things, you see how fast things move, right? So maybe if it's a move right now, it might not be a move, you know, in 8 hours from now, right? So we'll definitely tonight's stream, we'll go from there, like as far as like really looking for stuff. So, because I mean, maybe something's looking, you know, good right now. It might already be done and ran, you know, by the time we start streaming tonight. So look at the hourly. Remember when we first started streaming, the hourly was in the red. We're in the green now, so it looks good. So it looks like today, guys, we're going to see a solid day for now. Obviously, things can change, right? They can change with the quickness, but with the S&P making all-time highs, literally right now, S&P has just made another all-time high at 2266. We have the NASDAQ, Dow Jones, everything is up right now that we want to see up, right? Gold's down. Everything is up right now. Ethereum's technically up about 2%. Bitcoin's up 1.3%. And down the road, I mean, we have Solana 1.4%. XRP is about 3%, doing very fantastic right now. So Bunk probably doing one of the bigger moves, up about 8% right now for the day. So things look great, guys. That's pretty much what we're going to leave it. Tonight we will have our members stream, right? So we're jumping into the trenches. If that's something that you like to do, like jump in. We literally are going to be all into the trenches. We'll be in Pump Fund. We'll be all over the decks. We trade on Solana particularly. A lot of people are trying to push for us to jump onto base as well. But I do like to stick on to Solana particularly. But if that's something that you guys are interested in, hit that join button. It's literally $4.99 for the month. And like I said, we're going to be making moves. You'll probably make that tonight, right? I mean, I can't guarantee anything. Obviously, it's you that are going to be making the moves. We're just going to present them, show you some good spots to jump in on, right? And we go from there. It's very fast paced. It's fun, right? And we kind of just take ourselves off the regular traditional charts doing that. So Bitcoin looking great. Let's see if we can break above. Next spot for some resistance is going to be around that 110,900. So keep an eye out on that, guys. Like I said, I will be back in a few hours a little later on for our member stream. Other than that, guys, if you're watching it after the fact, make sure you guys hit that like, hit the subscribe. We're here every day streaming, multiple streams. So with that being said, guys, have a fantastic day. Go out, grind, and get some money, and I'll see you guys a little bit later, all right? All right, see ya.